Hey guys, this is Issues with Toddie1Skip. I am Toddie1Skip. Good morning. It's 4:48 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Guys, almost at 15,000, and I thank you so much for everything you've done for me this year, and I hope that I haven't disappointed. I'm sure that I have disappointed some. In this video, I might disappoint more, but I'm going to say what I need to say. This is my channel, and but I feel like it's our platform, and I think that the people that have been following me are following me because I honestly have a problem with injustice, and I think that those that follow me honestly have a problem with injustice. I do some funny videos. This is not going to be a funny video, though. I'm sure there's going to be a little bit of snark coming out. Anyway, I don't do videos about this, but this has been bothering me, and now I feel like I definitely need to say something. So I want to say something, and yeah, so I'm going to. So this morning, I was watching what I thought, it said live stream, and I thought, it's probably too early in the morning. It's probably an old live stream, and it's just got live on it, because a lot of content creators do that. And so I went on to what I thought was already a watched live stream, but it wasn't. It wasn't. And Fancy was talking about the injustices and how things are unfair. And the fact that we've seen, I didn't dig into this, but it is common knowledge that Fancy had said that she was kidnapped by Sarah on that trip to Missouri. And, we all watched. Fancy needed a ride. Sarah showed up. Sarah didn't feel good. We all watched this as they showed us what was going on. So they invited us into this. I donated money. I asked you guys, listen, it's about content creators. I took Fancy at her word. I should have checked my sources. You're right about that, Fancy. When it comes to you, I should always check my sources, but I said that you said that, and this was about that. So when Fancy was the source of her own lawsuit, and she said it was about, content creators not being able to speak and the amendment and all that, I took that source at her word because it was her lawsuit. Yeah. I guess I should have really looked into the lawsuit. So you're right, Fancy. When it comes to you, definitely got to check my sources beyond you, because you were the source. You were just wrong. You just told an untruth. You embellished a little bit. It was about what you did, and it was specific to certain things that you did. It wasn't about shushing content creators. So you said that, and that's not what it was about. Why are you mad at me? And then I ask my channel, the community, to help. Anybody that wants to help, listen, this is a good fight. It's a good. And then you yell at the same people that donated money to you the next day. And then that's when I got on and I said, that's not cool. So you want to say you ended whatever thing we had going? I called you out on your shit. I didn't end anything. You couldn't handle the criticism. You sent me back money I didn't ask for. You still went. I'm sure you needed it, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I never would have expected money back. I just felt horrible for those people that I said, if you could donate, do it. And then you yell at people. And yeah, I felt responsible for what I told my people. So yeah, that's the way that works when you have a conscience and when you've been misled. Again, the lawsuit was for you, so you would be the perfect source. The problem was you, the source of the subject, didn't tell the truth. You told an untruth. And then you got mad. And because of these untruths, they have led to your lack of credibility. Let me get something 1000% clear. I do think me personally, because this is my personal experience, I don't need to check the fucking facts, that Fancy was probably the loudest on YouTube when it came to what Gypsy had done. Okay? Fancy, that's a great thing to bring credit to, and I don't mean any snarkiness, I mean this honestly. To make at least one person aware of, hey, listen, you're not going crazy. This is what it does look like now, and this is what it looked like then, and this is what it looks like now. You're not crazy for that, and for bringing that attention online to a lot of people, you should be seriously applauded for. That's a great thing. But this other stuff, and seriously, what it looks like is Fancy got upset that she brought information, which I always gave her credit for. I just gave her credit for videos that I just put out last week. There were 2 videos that I mentioned within the last 30 days, okay? Because I'm not good with time, apparently. But there were recent videos where I mentioned what Fancy had brought out, that Fancy brought out the micro deletion. That was the first time I heard about it. I have given Fancy credit since what happened in Chillicothe. I have, because Fancy still deserves credit. 2 things could be right. She could still be unhinged, and she could still be right about things that she's brought to the table. The problem that I think Fancy has, and I don't have to check my facts, this is my opinion, and I've been around the block a few times, so I'm allowed to have it, is that Fancy got upset that more content creators became more popular than her. She got pissed at Nina once upon a time ago, right? There was an issue with Nina. Nina's got a lot more subscribers. Nina's a lot more. Here's the thing. Nina's more well-liked, Fancy, and that's on you. That's on you. That's her presentation. You know, I haven't seen Nina go off on any of her followers. I have seen Nina go off on content creators that have gone off on her. So I don't want to say that I've never seen Nina not go off on anybody. I've seen her defend herself. That's what I've seen. If it's anything different, this is what I've seen. I am friendly with these content creators as I was initially with Fancy. But then I just didn't like the way Fancy started yelling at people that helped her fund a trip. And because of that criticism, Fancy gave me back money that I didn't ask for. She was disappointed in me because I didn't support that behavior. And all of a sudden, everything I'm doing apparently is wrong. That's fine. That's fine. You could think that all you want. Don't tell me that I don't check my facts, because I'm not a fact-checking channel. I've gotten a lot of things that I believe Nina got, as far as from sources and people. I do. I believe that, and I said that before. I don't have the time to go through these sources. And I have told people I've gotten emails and I've said, I'm sorry, I don't have time to fact check this to put this up on my channel because I have a full-time job. Nina had a full-time job, and then Nina was fired because of something that happened here. So if Nina now has the time to check her sources, which I believe she does, and she does check them, then if me saying Nina says this and Nina has been correct this amount of times, what do I need to check? What do I need to check? I'm telling you, I'm reporting on something that Nina's saying. So what do I need to check? Where do I need to check my sources? I did an interview with Matt. I'm responsible for what Matt says. I did an interview with Rebecca Michello. I'm responsible for what Rebecca Michello represents and says. Yes, I've checked my sources when it comes to these people that I brought on my channel and showed to you. I thought I checked my sources with you when I told people to donate money to you, and I was wrong, because you know what? It wasn't for the right thing. And then you turned around and you yelled at people, your followers. If your followers like that, that's fine. I don't think my followers like me yelling at them. And if they do, they picked the wrong channel because I'm not going to yell at them. When we disagree, I'm not going to yell at them. They could disagree. And sometimes they'll show me something that I missed. And I say, I missed that. Thank you for that. I'm sorry about that. I've apologized on my channel for being wrong one time or twice when it comes to you. I don't have a problem with that. I have a problem when you get upset because more content creators are taken more seriously and are more likable, and you spew your shit. And that's what's going on here. Just look at how many people you've worked with that no longer want anything to do with you in the short amount of time that I've been a content creator. And by the way, not a reporter, not somebody that needs to check facts, because I always give credit to where I got the information from. So if people are watching me to check facts when I'm telling them, hey, check this out, or check this out, and I'm giving credit to where credit's due, I think that people are watching me because I'm bringing stuff to their attention. And if they want to dig deeper, they can dig deeper because I've shown them where to continue digging. Don't tell me what kind of content creator I am and what's expected of me, because I think that the community that I'm a part of, I meet their expectations. And if I don't meet their expectations, I'm sure that they will tell me. So I'm not here really to please you, Fancy. Though, again, I would love to engage with you one-on-one, real-time, debating, like human beings. So no yelling and screaming and all that stuff. And I'm happy to do that with you. So anytime you'd like to do that, I know you blocked me. I don't know why, but I didn't block you. So you're welcome to write to me, Toddie1Skip@gmail.com, and we could debate. I'm going to continue telling stories if you have something to do with those stories, just so you know. And sometimes you're going to look good like you have. And sometimes you're not going to look so good if that's what you've done and you're part of the story. Content creators, yes, we need to unite, but we don't need to have knives at each other's backs. And my problem with what you said is that you turned around. We saw the whole incident that happened in Chillicothe that you shared with us. There was never a kidnapping. There was never this. There was never that until there was a lawsuit. And then you said Sarah kidnapped you. But you showed us everything. You told us the good time you had. You never mentioned kidnapping. As a matter of fact, you kept reaching out to Sarah, and Sarah wrote back to you and said, I'm in the hospital. So, Stockholm Syndrome? Like, come on, let's be real. And don't get upset because you're asking content creators to unite. That doesn't include me. So it's not all content creators. It's just who you want. You're asking content creators to unite, but you kind of sort of did that when you said what was going on in Chillicothe was about our amendment. Okay? And because of what happened in Chillicothe, now somebody is going to be with bullshit of kidnapping. And yeah, I'm getting on my channel to say, hold the phones. We very well might need to unite, but please, can we get somebody else to drive the fucking train? Because this is why I don't want Fancy to.
There needs to be change. I want Aditi's law. There should be Aditi's law.
So, are you going to start Aditi's law? Because I know that Fancy has said this. And while I was thinking of it, Fancy, I want to give you a gift. And I'm not being facetious or anything. I used to deal with marketing. I've always had a knack for marketing. I actually went to college for marketing and did it for a short period of time, and then kind of just freelanced and did it as I kept positions in companies and places. Anyway, seriously, I think part of the problem is, yeah, I can see you being feeling guilty because you helped spread an untruth when you thought it was truthful. In all fairness, Fancy didn't check her sources. And on mainstream media, she's seen several times telling the whole world that Dee Dee had Munchausen by proxy and that Dee Dee ABUSED'd Gypsy and that Gypsy lived this horrible life. She was part of that narrative because that's what she believed until things started coming out. That's fair. That's fair to say. That's fair to say. And she has said, I didn't know. I didn't know. And as soon as I knew, and I do feel bad. Fancy, and I seriously, I think that you could do an awesome documentary that wouldn't cost you a lot of money, that would bring in money, to be honest with you, if you showed yourself as the person, as, you know, the interviews that you've done on mainstream media for like Mommy Dead and Dearest and whichever ones you showed up on. I would show you side by side in a documentary. Now, I know that you know how to do this and do this cleverly, where you could put some sounds and some noises and make it, and it could simply just be you and what happened. So, where you're going years ago, when you thought something different, that Dee Dee was this horrible person, you show that interview, and then you come on the screen side by side and start fading the other interview out and start talking about what you know now from hindsight. So embrace what you got wrong and show what it is today. I honestly think that you would have a great documentary. It would, I don't want to say humble you because you would take offense to that, but it would give you the chance to flip things around a little bit if you wanted to. I'm not trying to tell you what to do. This is something that came to my mind. I would certainly do it if I were you. You have spent time and energy and everything on this, and I think that you can certainly do a documentary that would be excellent, you know. And it can even be, you know, how we get things wrong. It doesn't, you know, just you got to get out of your own way is all I'm saying, man. Just get out of your own way and let the message go. Just let the message go. Don't get over emotional. You could do something with this. I think that that's a good little documentary. I'm not even being funny about that. Anyway, yeah.
Toddie1Skip, how freaking dare you? You do not know anything about any of this, and you can make whatever damn video you want, but you are just as much a part of the problem as anyone else.
What problem? Can you tell me what problem that I've been a part of? You're the only one telling me that I'm part of a problem here. So, see, this is blanket statements that I'd really like to debate about. I want to know. You're accusing me of being part of a problem. I'd like to know what problem I'm a part of, how I contributed to that problem, because that's a blanket statement and it means nothing.
And you have been banned, and I will not allow you to talk about me, and I will make sure that I take that video and I will put it into the rest of the videos I have of everyone and how they have treated me.
So I was banned for you read you guys stop, you could read exactly what I wrote. I was basically saying to her, how do we know what's true? Why would we follow you? How do we know what's true when all of a sudden you called Sarah a kidnapper? Now, I haven't been in touch with Sarah. I would have loved to have interviewed Sarah. Okay. But I didn't know which Sarah she was, to be honest with you. I just know what they shared with us and how Fancy said at one point that she told Sarah to come back from talking to Mike Stanfield, when we clearly hear her in the interview, in the video, that she's taking, that she's not calling her back. She's saying, yes, she's part of the press. Yes, she's part of the press. Yes, she's part of the press. And then we see that she says something different, but we already know. what we saw through her camera and her own mouth. So anytime you have a different opinion than Fancy, you're blocked. So how credible is Fancy when she can't even debate? Like she's just, I'll block you. Like it's going to go away. And then she makes a statement, everybody, you're in the file with everybody. That says something about you because it can't be everybody. Do you know anything about math? It can't be everybody. It's got to be you, man. Take it as a gift at this age. Realize one person says something about you, let it go. Two people say same thing about you, maybe a coinky dink. Three separate people say the same thing about you that don't even know each other. It might be you, man. It might be you. You know, that was a gift to me. So that's what I mean by a gift. My dad told me that. He told me that at around 20, 21 years old when I was ready to let go of a relationship because of something that somebody said. And I was like, well, she said this about me. Well, how many people have said that about you, Toddie? How many people? Maybe it's true. One person says something, let it go. Two people say the same thing, coincidence. Three people, they don't know each other, they're saying the same thing, you might want to look at yourself. That's been a gift for me for 40 years. That's made me check myself. So that's what I mean when I say a gift. I don't mean anything, I'm not trying to be superior. That was a genuine gift my dad gave me. Take that advice. It's a gift. That's how you make changes. That's a good thing. That's a good thing, Fancy. But, you know, this is going to go in one ear and out the other, and somehow it's all going to be my fault. And that's okay. Because if anybody gets something, if one of you gets what my dad gave me and it changes your life and makes you look at yourself, then I'm glad that I could do that. Because to me, that was a gift.
You know nothing about Pink Hat Sarah. You know nothing about what happened on that trip. And you know nothing. I gave you back your $25 because I didn't want your shit. So you know what? Why don't you run along to the club that you are in?
So, again, I didn't ask for my money back. This wasn't about money. This was about insulting people that helped you, no matter how they helped you. It happened to be that they helped you financially. Then you say that I'm in some sort of club. Like, what club? Polo club? Beach club? Snow club? Skiing club? What kind of club? Again, these are blanket statements. As far as I know, I have some memberships, but I'm not part of a club as far as I know. Again, I watched all the videos that they put out about Chillicothe and their trip to Chillicothe, and I saw Fancy writing to Sarah and Sarah writing back saying that she was in the hospital. And I remember Fancy saying, because people were asking Fancy, well, where's Sarah? Where's Sarah? Because Sarah didn't really join much of what was going on with Fancy after the Chillicothe trip. And I remember Fancy saying, everything's cool with Sarah. Don't start anything with Sarah. Everything's cool with Sarah. So when did the kidnapping come out? Why isn't it okay that I ask that? It's something different. It's something that you didn't claim until there was a lawsuit. So why can't I ask that question? Why does that make me the bad guy? These are your stories that you're putting out there, and there's a discrepancy, and I'm asking you why. And you're shutting me down. You're going to block me. The question isn't going away. I'm not the only one asking the question. Is that part of the club that I'm part of?
I do not have anything else to say about you or to you. I have never been rude to you. I have never done a damn thing to you except respond to the nonsense you posted when you did not have any clue what was going on. You, my dear, are on the wrong side of this shit and you don't fact check anything. You do a piss poor job of putting together your shit. And I originally thought you were a really great person until I realized you don't fact check anything. So goodbye. Goodbye.
Well, I guess I am dismissed. Well, you heard her. You heard her. I was cool until I disagreed with her. I'm the same person. She doesn't know me. I don't care if she likes me or she doesn't like me. I don't have enough respect for Fancy to care what she thinks about me. That's the truth. So I'm not going to comment on that. And as far as the channel goes, I'm not even going to comment on my channel because I think that this channel and this community speaks for itself. They're happy with what I put out there. Just like I assume your channel is happy with what they put out there. Again, happy to debate you anytime. Happy to debate you anytime. And I am going to continue to talk about you if you are part of a story. And I expect you to do the same if I am part of a story. Or not. Do whatever you want. It's your channel. But when somebody says to you, hey, this doesn't seem right or it doesn't seem true, or can you explain it to me? And they come to you with facts. These are facts because they came from you and they came from Sarah. And we saw them on a document that said that she was kidnapping you and you would basically turn over on her, even though she was the one that gave you the ride and you were all thankful for that all the way around until there was a lawsuit. You can paint it any which way you want. Those are the facts. You never mentioned kidnapping until there was a lawsuit. You lied on a video that we heard you say something, then you said you didn't say that, but we heard it. And then you get upset. Don't get upset at the person that's showing you the mirror, okay? That might as well be a wall behind it, holding it up. Get upset with the reflection in the mirror and change it. Otherwise, everybody, because your next statement is something that everyone does, everybody would not be saying the same thing about you if it wasn't true.
Thank you for coming in and trying to disrupt shit just like everyone else. It shows exactly what type of person you are. Good God.
Well, guys, I'm pretty sure that you definitely know what type of person I am. So I'm just going to put some bonus footage in the back here just to, I don't know, kind of prove a point. And to say thank you, as always. I appreciate you guys. Don't forget, be better today than you were yesterday, not half as good as you'll be tomorrow. This is Issues with Toddie1Skip. Thanks again.
How dare you sit up on social media pretending to be some sort of fucking influencer and then boo-hoo about it when people don't like it? You know what happens, honey, if you don't want to be talked about on social media? If you don't want people telling the truth about you, you know how you can stop that? Get the fuck off of social media.
Same goes for you, Fancy. Same goes for you. Same goes for you. Same goes for you. Same goes for you. Same goes for you, Fancy. Same goes for you. Same goes for you. Same goes for you. Same goes for you.